Napalm and Silly Putty has just moved to #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. Please welcome Mr. George Carlin.
You're still growing. You're still growing.
I am.
You're taller than the last time I was here.
It seems that way. Something is happening.
I know, but it's probably to your benefit.
I think so.
And the Liberace book is in that restroom near my dressing room, by the way.
You know,
I saw all.
Here's the thing. You, I don't mean to. You knew Lee, didn't you?
Lee and I were, I won't say close, but we had a kind of a three-pronged relationship.
George Carlin. That's not in the book.
It's in there. It's in there. Yeah.
It's number 2 with a bullet, or it's #1 in the New York
It's #2 with a hand grenade, because next week it's #1, next Sunday. Actually, on the website of the New York Times, it's #1 in midweek, but the newspaper, the tangible, analog version will be seen on Sunday, #1.
That's great. And you, knowing you don't really care about that, do you?
Oh, I'm a scoreboard guy. Yes, I am.
You do care?
Yeah.
Oh.
If they're going to keep score, I want to be on the scoreboard.
Oh, okay.
And fortunately, they do. And, of course, I'm in the hardcover nonfiction category. Lady Di, that's all gone. I'm not competing with her. Well, no, I mean, the book's about her. Well, listen, things happen, all right? But Harry Potter has been put into a separate category, children's books, you know. And they're weeding out all my competition, so #1 was the only thing left.
That was it. That was it. And we should point out that a message to some of the young people, and we like to send messages to the young people.
Don't we, though?
You dropped out in the 9th grade, or?
I left after 9th grade. They weren't teaching what I needed. And I like, you know, it's a perverse pride that you can drop out of school in 9th grade and you can still write a coherent, apparently coherent book and make that list. You know, it's kind of a nice feeling. It's kind of validation, because you kind of, I think if you have a good mind and you don't really finish your education, you have a need all your life to prove that you're okay.
Oh, yes, exactly,
you know, so even if it's just to yourself, you want to prove that you...
You and the models do that. The models go,
true,
you know?
Well, you know, the nuns, the nuns used to say to me, they'd say, you have a really good mind, but it's just not readily apparent to an outside observer. Now it is.
What does the title mean?
Well, there are a couple of reasons for Napalm and Silly Putty. First of all, it struck me once a long time ago that it was interesting that mankind had developed, among a lot of other things, these two products, Napalm, which is a jellied, burning, flaming gasoline that scars and destroys, and Silly Putty, which is a thing you can get a backwards picture of Popeye by pressing on
Exactly, I remember that, right?
But I found out later that Silly Putty was an accidental development when they were trying to make plastic explosives.
Oh.
So it's really nice to know that now. I wish I knew it then. The other reason, the other reason for the two. The point was we've made these two extremes, and we don't concentrate too much on things in between.
Right.
We love to do silly stuff. We love to do war stuff, but in between, it's kind of like where we're a little. We need help. The other thing is, those are the two parts of my nature. I have a kind of an angry side that...
No!
Yeah, well, it's sort of... I don't live, you know, I don't feel anger personally, but it does read that way, you know, in theaters and...
Sure.
And concerts. They think, oh, he's mad, he's mad.
Right.
And I'm just kind of dissatisfied,
You're
you know.
dissatisfied.
And Silly Putty is the innocent side, the childlike stuff that's in there. You know, why is there no blue food? Those kind of thoughts.
Right, and Napalm, of course, is first.
Yeah.
You just celebrated a birthday.
I did. Well, I didn't celebrate. I just had it. Yeah, I had it. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you have it and you don't celebrate, does that mean you just don't acknowledge it during that day?
Well,
or?
I think I was just trying to be cute or something, because I did have 2 cakes. I worked that night. The theater gave me cake. I was up to my ass in cake. I had cakes from the hotel. I turned 64, which is 17 Celsius.
Oh,
you know,
that's good.
So in Canada, I'm all right. I'm a late adolescent.
There were, of course, George, you know, I read the book today.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that jumped out, I'm a bit of a sports fan, and you named the 3 real sports in our country. There are only 3 real sports.
To my way of thinking, baseball, football, and basketball are the real sports. Everything else is either a game. There's a little support for this. Everything else is either a game or an activity.
Okay.
Hockey. People think hockey is a sport.
Isn't that a real sport?
Well, no. Hockey is 3 activities taking place at the same time. You have ice skating, which is nice.
Right.
You have playing with a puck, which is sort of interesting. And then you have beating the crap out of people. So what they should do, separate them. You circled that because I had said it now.
No, I'm just thinking tennis is a sport that I like to watch, but that's an activity?
Yeah, well, tennis is actually a very sophisticated form of ping pong, if you think about it. It's ping pong played while standing on the table.
Oh.
And in fact, they're all racket sports. Even volleyball is racketless team ping pong played with an inflated ball and a raised net while standing on the table. So they're all derivatives of ping pong.
Ping pong is the original.
Is the seminal sport.
Okay.
For rackets and returns and things of that nature.
Yeah. You don't have to go anywhere, right? You can stay there?
I can if ordered to, yes.
I want you to stay. 5 questions with Mr. George. Back with George Carlin, the #2 book. It's soon to be, is it #1 yet? Sunday, boom, boom.
Yeah, it'll be official Sunday. It's on their website.
What kind of celebration will that?
Oh, that just feels great. That's all. No celebration. Dancing around the room a little.
Sure.
Dancing. Actually, when I first heard of it, I danced and sang for about an hour.
What, an hour?
Yeah,
I didn't know you could go that
and
long.
all songs I'd never heard before.
You've been doing stand-up for how many years?
Counting, well, not counting radio. That's not stand-up. You sit down for that. 40 years.
40 years?
40 years, yeah.
And soon, over the years, some crazy nights, some rough nights over the years.
Oh, yeah. It's, well, especially when you're starting, you know, and no one knows who you are. I worked at a club in Baltimore. This was easily 2 or 3 years before I got any television exposure. And they were opening a new club called the Blue Dog. And they opened it. This guy wasn't really bright. He opened it on July 4th weekend when everyone in Baltimore goes down ashore. You go down ashore. And no one was in town, and no one was in the club. Come 8:30, showtime. The club was empty. There was a waitress, or probably 2 waitresses, and a bartender. And this owner comes over to me and says, 8:30, he says, showtime, you know. So I said, well, there's no one here. He said, well, in case someone comes in, I want them to think there's a show. Yeah. So I did my act for nobody.
Right.
And it goes very quickly when you do that.
Yeah,
no laughs. And,
no booing, but no laughs. Yeah, that's good. Are you ready? You're good at this.
I'm always ready.
You're so good at 5 questions with George Carlin. Geography. We always start with geography. Name any country where your name would be Jorge.
Ecuador.
That is correct. That is correct. So many. This one you might struggle with. I don't know. Better music when you're with your lady. D'Angelo or R. Kelly?
But I don't know either. I know D'Angelo's name only. I don't know any music since 1955. Yeah, there are 25,000 albums come out every year. Who has time?
Yeah.
I do.
Are you going to say D'Angelo?
I'm going to say D'Angelo.
That is correct.
Yeah.
He's actually the man. Years ago, of course, you told us about the 7 dirty words you can't say on television. Which of them can we now say?
One and only part of the time. Piss, you can say if you're talking about being pissed off. But if you're talking about being pissed on, you can't say it.
This is tough. Now, this is difficult.
It's a tough one?
This is rapid fire. 5 seconds on the clock, please. 5 seconds on the clock. Name 5 breakfast cereals in 5 seconds. 5 breakfast cereals.
Corn Flakes, Rice Krispies, Rice Chex, Corn Chex, Wheat Chex.
Wow. There's a score. 5. Is our writer, Wells Wild, as good-looking as he thinks he is? And here he is one more time for you to...
Thinks he is.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen.
question.
Look at
Honestly.
Honestly, just let down the mask. Be honest for a moment.
Okay.
What's more important to you? What's more, number 1 or 5 out of 5?
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5?